here we go. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, well, it's Wednesday actually, Wednesday the 2nd of August. So, what's August bringing us so far then? Well, some movement for sure, not a great deal, but some movement. Let's just have a look at news events due out today. So, Wednesday the 2nd. And we got the chocolate teapot event, the ADP non-farms. Having said that, it is just absolutely useless as a chocolate teapot. That's what I'm referring to here. The data in the past, it's been so far out. They've increased the size of their the number that they actually count from now. But whether it's any better at predicting what the non-farm payrolls itself is going to be is well, still out for the jury, but actual reactions and what actually happened previously, well, we'll see. But for now, they're expecting, well, something reasonable this month. 191,000 growth there still. 200,000 plus is the real magic number where they're actually growing employment. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that's it for today anyway, so let's get on. Let's move and look at the markets, and we'll start looking at the euro. So the euro yesterday, it was coming down, hasn't yet broken the level I wanted to go short on it. It's still sitting around this original trend line. Well, there's two trend lines. So the original one is this one back here, but this near-term trend line I should refer to it as, still sitting around it. It's certainly, looking at the market, I mean, we're seeing a bit of a bounce, almost a double bottom. It could easily be referred to as a double bottom, and it's choking where it is at the moment. Yesterday really was a horrible day for it, and it's best left alone when it's like this. You just got to go and look, is there anything else moving better? And there sure is. Anyway, so euro probably best left. The pound, this is why years ago I'd go wrong, is I'd stick with trying to trade the euro, maybe the pound as well, and if they're not setting up, they're not setting up. But if that's all you're looking at, and it was for me for many years, I just traded, bread and butter was the euro dollar. The thing is, realistically, if it ain't moving, it ain't moving. I've done a lot better since sort of looking further afield, and yes, sometimes you get a slightly bigger spread, but you can swing the trade them. Anyway, pound dollar, certainly on the downside from the higher time frames, and this 4-hourly time frame did roll over a bit yesterday afternoon, more so than anything else. There it went at around about 11 o'clock. It actually rolled out, it started rolling properly, and it did roll over, taking out the low, so it's given us another lower high. Looking at it today as it's hung up, we'll see what happens. Again, it may be a bit of a doodle and a breakdown towards its S1, but not really liking it where it's sitting at the moment. US dollar yen strengthening at this stage. It's done a bit of a Gartley pattern. I think I might mention this. If I didn't mention it to you guys out there, I did certainly mention it in the trading room. It's done a bit of a Gartley pattern. In fact, let's just have a quick measure of the, see how it's done. Generally you're looking for at least one, yeah, it's just short of 61.8, come up to 786. That's fine. That's working at the moment, but I don't like shorting these that much anymore. They're a pattern, and it could be rolling over some more, that's for sure. It's, as I say, it's certainly there. The only way I trade these is if I've got more going for it. This has actually got a bit more going for it at the moment. It's coming off towards its S1. I will watch this morning. It's got the lower high in there, so on the bigger picture it's showing me the sort of the Gartley pattern, which could fail. Basically, you come back to it, all you get is an ABC correction. You've had a wave here, and the second wave could just be a correction, and then you come into the bigger third wave. Well, we'll see, but certainly shown a bit of weakness at the moment. So as I say, I'll watch that through this morning. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie dollar's failed to make any headway after yesterday's disappointing the markets there, surprising the analysts. I mean, it didn't have the biggest of moves. I mean, it was sort of later in the morning when we really got going a little bit again on it. It was 8-9 o'clock. It started moving down into the afternoon, but again, it's through this morning. It's off. It's gone. We could get another retest of this S1 and a ride down to the S2. The way it's set up at the moment, lower highs, lower lows, everything's set towards that way. So it'd be well worth watching. Canadian dollar, well, the Canadian dollar, I've been looking at this across, actually it's the 4 hourly, I was looking at it across, and well, I was looking at the channel that it was in to see if it broke back down from the ascending channel. Generally you're looking for a break and a break at the bottom eventually. Well, this has done quite the opposite at this moment. It's actually broken the top of the channel, come back to I say it's not a trend line, but the upper channel line that I've drawn on here, and bounced off it. So at the moment, and it's given us a higher low. At the moment, it's got some more potential on there. If we see these other markets roll in, of course this could happen. The other thing is, on the shorter time frames, we'll probably have a bit of divergence going on over this move. Let's just click on here and see, there we go, bit of divergence sitting on there. If you're using MACD or RSI, you'll see some. It's inevitable when the prices pull back like this. The calculation of these indicators, they will only show you what you can see, but they show it in a pretty way. Look, it's pretty with colours and lines and things. Anyway, there we go, there's the divergence. So that could change, so change course back into range, and the daily pivot's untouched at the moment. We haven't hit the R1 yet, still scope for that to, if it starts breaking down today, we could see it running down towards that. It's a 75% chance of being hit. New Zealand US, okay, this is what paid us yesterday, well, this morning at some point. So we had the same sort of price action as the Aussie. It started rolling over. It was not quite so bold when it was rolling over, and eventually got into a trade around about here somewhere. Actually, it was on the 9 o'clock. Yep, it's just after 9 o'clock. We managed to put a sell stop in the end on this position, and well, it was trading down towards the 4 hourly pivot, and that's well, it's actually 69.02 I actually had on there. Sorry, 61.02 had as a target. Well, that's been hit now. Where to today? Well, we could see some continuation. It has hit its daily pivot, and the S1 it takes away the probability from the S2 a little bit, but they are pretty close, these pivots, quite pinched, and we could see a continuation. Dollar Swissy. Morning guys, joining over there. Daily dollar Swiss even. We continue to see the push up here. I was sort of discussing this in the room yesterday. I mean, the major trend is still to the downside, but we have seen the divergence. We've seen the break at the top of the divergence, and it sort of sits there in this sort of. Well, actually, it's quite ugly when you look at it like that. Let's come to the 4 hourly first. Morning, Mike. You're sort of running through these higher lows that are coming through there, and it's working its way a bit upwards, but we'll see. I'm still, because of the bigger trend, I'm sort of just holding back a little bit, but at some point I might swing this on the long side, but not yet. It's still got scum just looking at it here, and it sort of looks like it might even run down to its S1. It's sort of flaggy sort of pattern. It's a bit ugly, but we'll see. But the bigger picture, at some stage we might see this continue and push on upwards. Just looking on the long side where the entry would be. Don't have one at this moment. Maybe a break back above these highs here would be would see a continuation of the move. Okay. So a bit mixed there. Okay, going across to the cross pairs, Euro Yen is generally a goodie for me, but well, it is coming off again this morning slightly. Often this currency is shorted like a good one, which by the retail money, which often sees the price pushing back up strongly, which we've seen over the last few days of last week. Quite messy as it's sitting here. It's just tiring itself at this stage, just rolling back a little bit. It's still got higher lows in there. Hasn't fouled yet, but it does look a bit on the softer side. We'll see how this develops. My preference still, of course, with the trend that's sort of sitting there is the upside, but it could just be flagging, not literally. Euro pound, looked at this yesterday, was looking for a trade on the break of the lows there. It set my alarm off, but didn't trigger me into a trade, which quite happy about. It was slow, to say the least. It did in the end just rally, so it just popped us in. It just gave me the alert there at 10 o'clock. Not my favourite trading time anyway, but only to bounce, and well, it's off the table now. Euro Aussie, some of the pairs I like, Euro Aussie is one of them. It's finally broken out and I've missed it. Just coming back here, started doing its thing around here, and it just never gave me what I was looking for. A little retest and off it. It's gone up higher. So after days and weeks of looking for it, it just didn't give me the pattern I wanted. But this could well be on for, and I'll still keep an eye on it. It might retrace, but the depth of this box sort of side of things, it might still have some movement available to it. But unfortunately, you can't be in all of them and catch them all. It did set my alarm off, but didn't give me the setup, and I'm fussy when it comes to the setups. It's not done it, so I'm not in it. Okay, EUROCAD, bit of a mixed old bag here. It's caught itself into a bit more of a trend sitting there now, and I spent most of the day going up yesterday against the CAD. CAD just basically softening against everything. Similar picture as the US dollar CAD, where we'd be better off trading it, the dollar CAD or the Euro CAD, where the euro is weaker than the dollar at the moment, so maybe we're better off with the dollar CAD, but we'll have a look. Anyway, divergence kicking in here. It's not triggered yet, and it would only trigger on the break of this low, so if I was playing a divergence move on it, it's still got the chance of running down towards its S1, daily pivot, but it has hit the S1, so the probability has fallen somewhat. Okay, pound pairs, pound Aussie, chopping through here on the hourlies there. It's made a new high. My preference is on the long side here. It already moved so far into yesterday, so at the time we got to 8 o'clock it wasn't too far away from the highs, and it did stall into the highs and then choke. It's gone this morning, but we'll see. It's running to its R1, maybe a retrace a little bit further and another shoot up there, and it will be worth an attempt up to the R2. Other pairs, pound CAD, just look briefly at the pound CAD. It's got itself into a bit of a mess. It's continued to stay in that mess. Not liking it. I don't like these wedgie patterns. They're unreliable. I've only got about a 50% chance of working, so best left. Finally, pound yen. That will do for now. Pound yen rolling over, unless you've got other requirements out there on the YouTube channel. Pound yen just rolling over. Just seeing a bit of strength coming through the yen, just as it is on the dollar, but again, a bit like the euro dollar. This is just still looks like it's got bigger potential, but short-term rollovers. We'll see what develops. Okay, that's it on the Forex side of things. Let's just go and have a look at gold. Big picture here then, gold came off yesterday and just stayed off. At the moment it's coming off of its monthly pivot here, looking pretty soft. Look, as you come down the lower time frames, you see the lower highs in here. Structurally, it's in a bit of a downtrend at the moment. Maybe there'll be all options there. Crude, I was looking at this yesterday, pretty much up to my target sort of area, about the 82 area. It's got scope to push on there, but it's getting choppy as it sort of runs through these. Last week it was pretty choppy. Yesterday, this really is not too much into this. Maybe if we get into some sort of flag again today, we'll just see. But it's in 6 o'clock before it started doing something. Then very bitty, but it's still in that upward trend. But as I say, not so attractive because it's in the range of resistance. Let's just come back here a little bit, and you just see this sort of resistance level, and you see what I'm talking about then. There's a bit of a range around that. If it starts pushing up towards 80, we're sitting at 82, 83, 84. If it starts breaking these prior highs here, well, perhaps it has got good scope. It's got its yearly pivot sitting up there, crying out for it at 90, around about 95, 94. Okay, let's put that back to a daily before I get confused. A quick look at the equity markets. Very quick look at the equity markets. CSI 300 again just rolling over. It's a bit of hope last week, and it's coming back this week. The Nikkei, even that's rolling back today. So we've just it started moving in quite nicely, but that's rolled back, filled the gap. The Nifty 50, that's off as well. Lower highs. We're seeing this sort of rollover here. I mean, it was. There we go. It's not far off of its trend line there. It's below its monthly pivot, just looking that bit softer at the moment. So we are seeing some softness. The Aussie 200 coming off today after a bit of a rally into yesterday, but never really held too well, and it's off today, heading down towards the pivot there by looks of things. S&Ps, again a market that's off a little bit today at least. We've got the monthly pivot underneath. It could be a point to look for in terms of support, and see if we get another bounce off of it, but it's not. The overall market's not looking so pretty where it is, and it may be just a summer play in terms of running into the summer, and we start seeing it chop along a little bit more. Maybe it will become a bit more range bound, a bit more like what we see back here in April, May time. So let's just let it run its course at the moment. Dow Jones not too dissimilar, still in the range there. The NASDAQ, if it gets there, same ranging. So DAX, the DAX is off again. It's put in this beautiful pivot swing sort of pattern up here, and it's sold off again today and looking quite soft at the moment. Some of the data coming through in Europe is softer, some bickering going on, and certainly the DAX is, as I say, looking soft. Might like it often does, just find a bit of support. It's nearly into, well, it's just through the quarterly pivot, I should say. Maybe we'll get a bit more bounce from that, as we saw back here. So it's got the potential to close in here, but just see what it does. But it's missed its daily pivot. It's done everything today. Not a lot I could do there. FTSE, the risk to further downside, yes, it's there on the DAX, but it's already done quite a bit of range. That's basically what I'm saying. FTSE also looking softer here. Just really these markets rolling over. Broke down and rolled over here, looking soft. Not a lot there today. Finally, quick look as it's Wednesday. A quick look at Bitcoin then. So Bitcoin yesterday still coming off, as he says. yesterday was okay. Sorry, it's coming off today. It's hit the underside of the pivot there, the monthly pivot, looking a tad soft at the moment. It's looking soft and choppy anyway. Keep on saying the majority of these markets are quite choppy. Ethereum, there's the occasional one that's had a bit of a move, but maybe the flag off here, the trend line off the flag will get broken again, and Chainlink will succeed where the others are failing. Litecoin not doing too much. Solano up this morning, but still in this sort of arguably a bull flag, but really looks quite messy with a retracement there. Finally, Ripple again just choking here a little. Right, guys, I'm going to wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now. So, not a lot of news today. We've got